I have to shut this window. Because that was loud. Good morning! Happy Saturday, Good morning, happy Saturday. My name is Josh Tyler. Welcome to my privileged opinion. Thank you for wasting time with me on the internet. Today, I want to talk about a word that I think has been so misused and overused and made so derogatory that people are confused by it. And that word is ignorant. Because we're all ignorant. So, I had defined this word in my How to Be a Better White Person video, but I wanted to dive deeper into it. So, to define the word again, ignorance is a lack of knowledge, information, or awareness on a specific topic. We are all ignorant in some way or fashion, and that is okay. It is okay to be ignorant. It's okay. It is okay. But, however, as a white person, our ignorance around racial issues is somewhat slightly more detrimental than my ignorance around rocket science, or my ignorance around how a virus works, or my ignorance around how to grow plants. Granted, I can do that I'm so sorry. I can do that fairly well, as my room is full of plants, but ignorance as a white person around race, somewhat more detrimental, causes more harm, and I'm going to show you why. Me not understanding the last 100 years of American history is detrimental to my understanding about the lived Black experience today, because if I don't understand, redlining led to the formation of ghettos, which then, without my understanding that property taxes feed public schooling, would then lead to the misunderstanding that in those ghettos, property taxes are low, which meant Black public schools would not be getting as much funding as white public schools, which then would lead to the undereducation of Black people, which then would lead to higher crime rates and drug use in those neighborhoods because the poverty level was down, because employment was down, Black fathers were being taken from their homes and put into jails, requiring Black mothers to be taking care of the home. If I as a white person do not understand how that all leads up until where we are today, forming the systemic problems that we have in our country, I am going to approach topics with Black people or with any sort of racial aspect. My ignorance is going to uphold those systems that were in place that keep rolling over and have a snowball effect to where we are today. Side note, because poor white people are in this conversation in the beginning, redlining in ghettos and those sorts of things, poor white people in undervalued neighborhoods as well are also affected by the public school funding, because if you're a white person also living in a low poverty area, you're also not going to have great school systems. So I don't want this to be like, wow, white people have it bad too. We do. In some aspects. And again, that ignorance as a white person would cause you to not understand that there is a white aspect to that underprivileged public school system, undereducated, cyclical root. Now, when I would get, you're being ignorant, or you're so ignorant, thrown at me, my rebuttal would always be like, well, I don't see color. The problem with that statement is that if you don't see someone's color of their skin, you are not seeing and understanding the path that that color of skin has gone through in our country. And when you're saying that to someone, what you're really saying is, I don't see your lived experience because it's not important to me. In order to see your lived experience, I have to deconstruct my own thought processes, and I as a white person have to get uncomfortable. We as a white people have the privilege to live in a society that boxes up and feeds us the whitewashed history that it wants us to see and learn and have, and it doesn't require us to do any work and any sort of like due diligence to go find different information that would break down what we're being fed as white people. And if you're not seeing the lived experiences of the people around you, then you're perpetuating ignorance. Your ignorance is perpetuating problems and oppression in this country. For me, as a white person, it took putting in the work and the effort to learn and grow. And that requires taking in new information, like books. White Trash, 400-Year-Old Untold Story, Nancy Eisenberg, great book. White Fragility, another great book, Robin DiAngelo. The Spook Who Sat on My Doorstep by Sam Greenlee, another great book. You also have Destiny Disrupted about Islam. You have We Are Not Equal Yet by Carol Anderson. You have Anger is a Gift by Mark Oshiro is also really good. Anyway, all of these books, you have to take in knowledge. If you want to be a better white person, you have to diversify the knowledge that is being fed to you by media and mass outlets. Anyway, I kind of got into rambling. Go out into the world, be good and do good, and I will see you next week. Goodbye, thank you. Please like, subscribe, share. It's really important. Spread the word. Okay, bye. That was like a really good stream of consciousness. Mind you, I'm specifically talking about America because that is where I live. And blackness is not centered around America, it's just the only lived experience of blackness that I am close to.